Hey friends, this is Somnath, and welcome back to Dollar Sense, the place where your money finally starts making sense. Today we're talking about a quiet shift that could massively impact your credit score. What if I told you your buy now, pay later habits, those four-part payments you thought were harmless, are now being added to your credit report? That's right. Let's break down what this means, how it affects your FICO score, and what you need to do to stay credit smart in 2025. Welcome to our channel where we explain the boring stuff so you'll actually want to listen. Today we're going to talk about buy now, pay later, or BNPL. What is it, how does it work, and how it affects your credit? If you're new here, hit subscribe for more. Hey, BNPL data will now be reported to bureaus. The major credit bureaus Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion are beginning to collect buy now, pay later loan data. Own, the company that calculates your credit score for most of these bureaus, has said that its newer scoring models will use that data to help calculate your credit score. Meaning your timely payments on that new dress from ASOS or your new iPhone may soon start to help boost your credit score. Similarly, missed or late BNPL payments could hurt your score because they get reported to the credit bureaus. That's according to industry publications that cite unnamed sources familiar with the matter. So it would be similar to how credit card issuers or lenders report your payment activity. So if you make all of your payments on time, that will be reflected positively on your credit reports and credit scores. But if you miss or default on payments, it would hurt your credit, just like credit card or loan defaults. Your credit score may go up or down. So how much weight will these new services carry? Only time will tell, because we'll need to see how this new data translates into credit scores. But remember, timely payments on BNPL loans could boost your score, and missed BNPL payments could hurt it. Imagine that you're first to buy now, pay later payments are on time. Then you forget about the third one and you don't make it on time. On the plus side, you made 2 of 3 payments on time, but that one late payment could be enough to ding your credit score. Also, if you have multiple buy now, pay later accounts, and you get behind on payments for several of them, that could result in a bigger hit to your credit score than, say, making just 1 or 2 late payments. That's because the number of active accounts is factored into your credit utilization rate, which makes up 30% of your overall FICO score. Short-term loans, long-term effects. Just because BNPL loans are short-term doesn't mean that using them frequently will and eventually catch up with you, especially if you've repeatedly used the service and it shows. You're retaking on more debt or have a pattern of risky borrowing behavior. In addition to late payments, missing any payments altogether, whether it's for a credit card, an installment loan, or a buy now, pay later loan can lower your score. But not all lenders or credit scoring models will consider BNPL data when evaluating your application just yet. Older FICO models, for example, those used by most lenders today, do not factor in BNPL data. And some versions of VantageScore, another credit scoring model that factors in alternative data, still exclude BNPL, but adoption will grow slowly. It's more relevant in the next few years than right now. And it helps credit invisible consumers. What about if you don't have a credit history? Those without credit cards or loans won't have that data to help establish their creditworthiness. But consistent use of a BNPL service with on-time payments may help create a positive credit profile. Since BNPL providers are planning to report user data to credit agencies, that means even if you've never had a credit card or taken out a loan, your track record of paying off small balances may speak for you. However, VantageScore says that it does not plan to include information on individual transactions, such as a single BNPL payment. Instead, it will aggregate the data into broader categories, such as the total number of active accounts and average transaction amount. So even if you're doing a good job of paying off your BNPL loans, you still may not receive a credit boost immediately. But if you use several BNPL services and consistently make your payments on time, that behavior could signal to lenders that you're a trustworthy borrower. We know that was a lot of maybes, coulds, and might be that S because it is. Tough to predict exactly how BNPL will affect credit scores until lenders and credit bureaus start using this new data. Plus, it's a relatively new phenomenon, and we're still learning about it. But we do know that BNPL usage will likely become a factor in credit scores in the coming years, so it's important to keep track of what's happening. And with that, let's quickly recap what buy now, pay later actually is. If you already know all of this, feel free to skip ahead to the next section. BNPL lets you split payments into smaller chunks. You'll usually have to set up an account with the provider and link it to a bank account or debit card. Most plans allow you to split purchases into 4 equal payments over 6 weeks. You typically won't owe any interest or fees if you pay on time, but late fees apply if you don't pay on time. Some companies also offer longer repayment terms or larger loans. For example, with Afterpay, you can choose to make 4 interest-free payments over 6 weeks, or opt for a longer term with a larger loan. Affirm also offers longer repayment periods, up to 3 years, and may charge interest depending on the loan amount. Now let's get back to it. Buy now, pay later may seem like a good idea at the time, but it could come back to bite you. If you can't afford to make all of your payments on time, you could damage your credit. This type of short-term financing may not be suitable for everyone, and it should not replace a budget. You should think twice if you're considering using buy now, pay later for non-essential items, or if you know that you may struggle to make all of your payments on time. While it may be tempting to buy that extra pair of shoes or a fancy coffee maker, it's important to consider whether it fits into your budget and if you can afford to pay for it up front. If you're not able to pay for the item up front, you may want to wait and save up or look for a cheaper alternative. Additionally, you should avoid using buy now, pay later services for ongoing expenses like groceries or utility bills. These are essential costs that you should prioritize and not put on a payment plan. If you can't afford to pay for these items up front, you may want to look for ways to cut back in other areas of your budget or seek out assistance programs if you're struggling to afford basic necessities. With the rising popularity of buy now, pay later, it's important to remember that it's not a free pass to overspend. By being responsible with your finances and avoiding unnecessary purchases, you can enjoy the convenience of buy now, pay later services without the financial stress of falling behind on payments. Can I use buy now, pay later to build my credit? As we mentioned before, buy now, pay later providers are planning to report users' data to credit agencies. So even if you've never had a credit card or taken out a loan, your track record of paying off small balances may speak for you. However, this will depend on the specific BNPL provider and the reporting policies. Some providers may not report to credit agencies at all, so it's important to check their policies before signing up. Additionally, even if your BNPL provider does report to credit agencies, it may take some time before your payment history is reflected in your credit report. Credit reporting is not immediate, and there may be a delay of several weeks or even months before your payments are included in your credit report. Moreover, not all credit reporting agencies are the same, and some may not yet have access to your BNPL payment history, so it's important to check with the specific agency you're interested in to see what data they have available. It's also worth noting that simply having a BNPL account is unlikely to improve your credit score. You need to make on-time payments consistently to build a positive credit history. So if you're looking to build your credit, it's important to use BNPL responsibly and make all of your payments on time. What happens if you can't make your payments? If you miss a payment, your BNPL provider may charge you a late fee. The amount of the late fee will vary depending on the provider, but it could be as much as $10. In addition to the late fee, your BNPL provider may also report your missed payment to the credit bureau, which can negatively impact your credit score. So if you know that you're going to miss a payment, it's important to contact your BNPL provider as soon as possible. They may be willing to work with you to set up a payment plan or waive the late fee if you explain your situation and ask nicely. The bottom line, buy now, pay later may be a convenient way to pay for things you want or need, but it's important to use it responsibly. Do unuse it for unnecessary purchases, and make sure you can afford to make your payments on time. If you do use buy now, pay later, keep track of your payments and make sure you're not missing any. A missed payment can damage your credit and cost you money in late fees. With a little responsibility and caution, buy now, pay later can be a useful tool for managing your finances. We hope this video helped you better understand buy now, pay later and how it works. We know it's a lot to keep track of, and we appreciate you keeping track with us here. We make videos about personal finance and credit topics that you actually care about. So hit subscribe for more updates.